Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. Oh man, it's Monday. Can you tell? It's Monday the 11th. And we got some interesting market setups to look at here. And we're going to change a couple of things today, I think. So let's come to the charts. Where's my volume profile? Give me that volume profile. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so yesterday we opened up somewhere around the 2900 area. We had a huge move up into the close. There is this resistance. Well, I'm going to call it resistance, but, prior pivot from, weeks past. It looks like they're giving bears their day today. We are below Friday's open, which really changes the technical picture. And we've still got some levels that if we get below, things could, we get time frame continuity just completely flip. And it happens so quickly. Here's the treasuries. The treasuries are actually down a little bit, but popping up. So maybe a little bit conflicting signals there. Let's come back. Let's look at the euro here. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Here's the euro. So you can see the dollar's just barely above 100 there. We'll also look at oil. Oil up a little bit. Gold. Not really jumping up the way that you would expect if we're about to have like a crazy sell-off. So that kind of shows us where we are. You can see down here in this chart, time frame continuity. We are still up on the month, of course, but to get there, all we've got to do is make it to 29, 28, 71, 50, which, by the way, we have spent a lot of time at in the past week. So, kind of interesting. Anyways, I do think I'm going to change my workspace up a little bit. We've been testing this time frame continuity idea, and I think that we've learned what we want to see. There are some setups about it, but I think I need a little bit more because we're running into problem areas where I end up taking a ton of trades. And I do want to focus a little bit more on my histograms that I've got. Seem to really be effective at telling us what's going on. The treasuries, for instance, here definitely triggered, moving up. And I do want to be able to see things like, my correlated instruments and so forth. So we got that. Hold on a second. My eye is watering and I don't have a Kleenex in here. Go. Okay, so let's adjust some of our chat windows here. Firuz Tarov, that's a new name. Good morning, thank you for stopping by. And Baron Glass too, that's also a new name. First congratulations to you guys for sticking your necks out and being first. Usually we have the same people usually come in and are the first to talk. All right. Let's turn on our text-to-speech robot here so that I can watch this. does appear that ES is fairly active. Oh, you know what? I don't have things set up to do this yet. Yeah, not quite. I identified a little bit too narrow of a spot. All right, I need to come in here and open up the strategy. Here, where is it? Strategy manager. I want to make a new strategy. New strategy. I'm just going to call it scalp. And it's going to be everything. And it's going to be 4 and 4. Right here. Good. Although it does not appear like we're moving quite enough for the thing that I want to do to work. I am getting some indications, though, that we're getting range. Price discovery is starting to happen. So a few times I've been on the chat room in the past. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so anyways, oh, let's see if we get it. Come on, you're so close. Yeah, they're just a little bit slower than really want in this situation. Yeah, you can see the buyers stepping out of the way there. What's with this 222 showing up at 28.99 all of a sudden? Well, isn't that interesting? Yeah, they definitely pull the offers quickly when they move there. You see there 28.98.50 that it almost all pulled. Not now. Yeah, there you go. It's like it pulls to like 9 orders. But they do trade it. It is going to take a little bit for them to get through there, I think. A little too tense for my liking, to be honest. Okay. Well. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you guys was this right here. So I tried doing the AI generate experiment. Put a bunch of my own indicators in there and had to go through, and it looks like it works, but there's some issues with it because it the ones that it selects always it optimizes too much on performance and you don't get enough trades, and so you kind of get a useless strategy. It really needs to change things so that it's going for strategies that actually give you a good number of trades. Mm, and it kind of, the things that it generates are kind of weird. So here's the two strategies that were at the top. So it seems to think that Bollinger Bands are super great, and EMA. Bollinger Band and EMA is what it liked. Same with this one. So that's kind of what it ended up picking. It's interesting. So no, I'm not gonna change these. So I think it is gonna be an important feature, but it's not ready for prime time. So what I'm trying to do now is I really want to develop my read a little bit more. So I think I'm going to be trying to take like 1 point scalps a little bit here. That last one I thought was okay, but obviously the wrong direction, right? We're a little too late here. There's kind of a line there that. Okay. They're trying to push it. Not going. Yeah, they're trying. See, there's not quite enough momentum for me to ever get it. Like, I would really, with the way that I have this envisioned, I think I would want to be filled already. So since I clicked, I'm gonna let it play out. But that one's not working. Okay. Trying to decide how I want to do the rest of this. I don't think that I need this CCI. Make that one visible. And where's my CCI? IR adaptive CCI. Oh, there it is, right there down the bottom. Okay. Okay. I wonder, can I handle this with it being maybe 50% of the screen? I think it's doable. Cool. And then I'm gonna try and get everything lined up here correctly, all right? Bum, 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 and like that. Yes. Okay. Then I can put my 10-year back over here. And And then this one can be the 60. Yeah. And this, I need to duplicate in new tab window. And I'm just going to change this one to the one range chart. That's what I would like. Okay, cool. Oh, I think I need to remove all this stuff and add it back on. This is going to be offers. This is going to be bids. Okay. Cool. All right. So I might add more stuff later, but for now, I think that that's pretty good.
Eric says, "What's up, Seth?"
Bot says hand waving good morning.
Good morning. Oh, it's going to be close. Yep. I need to wait for it to be. Nope. Not that one either. I might get lucky on this one. Oof, they fight me, huh? Oh, come on. There we go. Good job. So, John, we missed it, but oh man, and I already closed it, didn't I? Yeah, so I showed John the screenshot of it. So what you're seeing there is the AI generate. So what it did was it went through 6,000 iterations making up strategies with like 20 of our indicators or something like that. And there it works, but the problem with it is that it optimizes too much on the profit ratio, and it doesn't maintain like a certain minimum number of trades. And so you basically it ends up optimizing on a trade that only takes like one trade in 3 months. So it's not there yet, but it works. It was trying to do something that used Bollinger Bands actually. Yeah, the best trade was with the Bollinger Band. But so with this in mind, it changes my
Gary Rich says, "Well, good morning, TikTards."
Good morning, Gary. I wouldn't say it changes my my perspective on things, but it kind of reinforces a couple of things and makes me realize maybe where I need to focus my efforts on a little bit more, because we can literally go through and every built-in indicator that we have on here, randomly put them together and find what the best combination of them is, and like constantly do that every night. That's totally a thing that we can do. So, and everybody can do it now. So I'm really skeptical about the ability of any built-in indicator to provide significant edge to us. I think that the things that we need to focus our efforts on are going to be things that people can't just accidentally discover from a backtest. That means that, things like order flow are going to be more important because that's really, really hard to duplicate. News, understanding of the way the market the way that the market moves on news so that you can navigate that more efficiently than other people. We can do indicators, but it's going to have to be really complicated ones that's more than just math, right? And probably things that involve more than just price. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on some of my level 2 indications that I have. Going to try and develop my read for the E-mini a little bit better. I don't know, we're 1 for 3 right now, which isn't terrible, but we really want to try and hit like 70%, which probably will take a while to get there. And I don't necessarily think that what I'm doing right now is going to be like profitable or like work really well, but I want to develop it. So I think I'm going to be doing that a lot because really we're coming up on the summer months and the summer is slow. And this would be a great thing to test during the summer, right? Of course, things could all just fall apart. And then it's a completely different story, isn't it? But yeah, I read in a PDF that was put in the chat a really long time ago about how to generate edge to get access returns. And so I'm really using that as kind of a guide. So if we're taking a trade over here based on certain indicators and stuff, I want to see a really clear indication that there are trapped traders. So really want to set that up. I think that we have a couple of setups that work, but we need to refine them a lot more to really, really see when that is actually happening, right? Well, there was a lot of absorption on this move down. So that might be one of those kinds of situations. I do see, well, where does that put things? Why is that one down there blue? Oh, because we changed. That's why. Okay, so 28.95.50 is the hour. And then I guess on the other side, for the channel, I think that I need to focus a little bit more on providing information and entertainment because the markets and the programming thing, because really, like, okay, everybody can do this AI generation thing. You're gonna have to develop your own indicators. If you're gonna use indicators, you got to use your own, like, straight up. So we need more people to program. If you don't program, I would recommend going and watching the videos that I got, and we're going to make more videos. So I think I'm going to focus a lot more on that on the education side, and because we got to figure out the best ways to generate edge, focus our efforts in the right places, and I think that I have a guide that kind of tells us where we should. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, we have a video coming out at when the market opens, and the video is why 95% of traders fail. And I go into why the markets inherently create more losers than winners.
Vaibhav Campbell says, "Hey Seth, have considered using Renko charts?"
Hey, Vaibhav, that's actually a really good question. I have messed with Renko charts before, but I don't really find Renko charts that useful. And the thing that bothers me about Renko charts is that they will go back and modify past price data. So it's kind of what it's doing is it's smoothing out the price movements for you, but then telling you things that aren't really true. And if you try and run back tests on that and stuff like that, what it's showing you is false. So I think that if you want to, if you're having a hard time seeing the trend and that sort of a thing, and the swings, I would recommend using a super smoother. So it's called the super smoother, and what it does is it uses concepts pulled from electricity and electricity filters to filter out noise. And you can see it over here on the chart over here to the upper right. I have well, I'll make it really big. But I have a super smoother there on my primary series, so you can see it follows really close. It gives you a really quick and accurate indication of when trend has kind of turned. And so I would prefer a super smoother. But I would also add, as we were talking about earlier, um, any one indicator is only so useful, unfortunately, right? Um, Especially if it's something that you downloaded and isn't specific to you, right? Because the question is, it's competitive. So what is it that you're doing that you have that allows you to make better
Bot says
decisions than
waveform
everybody
analysis is the
else?
description you're looking for.
Yeah, waveform analysis. There you go. It was science derived from another field. Which, by the way, I think is a great way to search for edge.
Fabov Campbell says cool, thank you.
No, yeah, so one place that I really want to get into that I've been reading about, but I'm not quite sure how I want to apply it, how I can apply it to futures trading, but I really want to get into Bayesian analysis. Super smoother,
Gary Rich
adaptive.
says super
Yeah,
smother,
well,
adaptive, double exponential, etc., etc., etc. Blah blah junk junk junk.
so when I'm going back and back testing and everything, if you try and set up a automated trade setup based on, is the super smoother rising or falling, or have we crossed the super smoother a certain way, um, my conclusion is that you're just very, very unlikely to find a trade, and if you do, it's not going to be the greatest trade. And like we've been saying, like you can like use a computer to try all of the different possible variations that you could possibly do with a super smoother, right? But in terms of like helping me understand what I'm seeing, I think super smoother is really effective. So, for what it's worth, certainly you have a point in that. I just don't think you can really develop a lot of edge with built-in indicators because everybody has them. You've got to do something that's difficult to duplicate, right? That other people aren't just gonna randomly stumble on. But for me, I think that's order flow, because I believe that I have a couple of tools that are unique to me and help me see things that I'm not sure everybody else can see. So I'm going to try and work from there and kind of apply some of these other concepts that I've been doing. Yeah, because we've been trying the time frame concept here now for a few weeks, and we learned a lot from it. But I think we need a little bit more than that, and I want to continue to develop, the skill like the order flow reading is something that I just don't think you can write an algorithm for. At least I don't know how you write an algorithm for it. It's well beyond what I understand. But that just means it's difficult to duplicate. Not every retail trader can do that, and that's some edge, right?
Bot says it's a great indicator to help you visually see the direction of the trend and when it has changed. It was not really meant to be used to generate entry or exit signals.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, Elder definitely developed it with the intention of filtering out the noise and being able to have something that reacts faster. Like it because the super smoother is still a fast moving average, right? But I think that he went in and he tested it. And
Gary
he
Rich says
realized that
Seth
it
Bots is correct.
wasn't really like wasn't really effective at an entry signal. But I can't read his mind, so I can't really say. But it's certainly true. He doesn't come in and say, "Oh, this is a great entry signal." It's not. Like honestly, Technical analysis is good. Like, I would recommend doing it, if only so that you can understand where the markets are at. But that doesn't necessarily tell you where they're going to go, right? That is a part. It kind of gives you a base to start from. I think that you need to know, but it's not going to predict the future for you. It just can't. Well, nothing can, but things might have a probability, but most technical analysis doesn't do it. But I should be careful about technical analysis. What I mean is chart indicators based solely on price. Chart indicators based solely on price have very
Bob
limited
Campbell
predictive
says I've
power.
seen Renko combined with footprint by market delta, so such combination might filter phantom or false price action.
Okay.
Gary Rich says stop all this monkey crap of adhere, add their plug and play, you'll get too distracted. Focus on a few things and learn them well. Period.
Well, okay, yeah, I agree with you, Gary, but here's the question. What are those few things that you should focus on? Right? We kind of explore around and look at a bunch of different things to kind of see if there's edges in them. But I think that what we do is we don't actually look at what it's doing to say, how is this going to generate excess returns for me? It's just an indicator, and it's like, well, we can just test the indicator and try different things and see the way that the stats come out. But you can do that forever, and like I said, you can have a robot do that for you, right? So we can use what we know about the competitive nature of markets to decide what we want to focus on, right? That's why I feel like two things that I can focus on that I could better develop my edge on is my read of the order flow and price action on the E-mini is one thing, because I've done pretty good with it in the 10-year, and I haven't really sat down and really tried to learn that in the E-mini. But one thing could be advanced statistical analysis.
Gary
on
Rich says you have to
internals.
figure it out. Stop
Yeah.
looking for an edge. Thinking you need an edge will cause nothing but endless searching.
And one place is, I think, news and understanding the market and how the market's going to react to that news. So I think so one thing is I think that I really need to just how do I say it? I think I really need to bite the bullet and get a good news squawk. I think that would be a significant step for me. Of course, the whole idea of excess returns is going to be like, okay, the news is going to give us an edge for sure, but the edge that we get
Bot says,
off
by
of
the
it
way, you're
on its
missing a
own.
digit in your stream title today. It's May 11th, not May 1st.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. One. Anyways, you're going to get edge, but that edge is going to be equal to what you're paying to be able to get it, right? So to generate an excess return, here are the spots that we can look at to be competitive. But you got to focus on something, right? Order flow reading is maybe one place that you can do it. I mean, you could pick a set of indicators and just really focus on that. But you might be focusing on something that just has no edge, How do you determine what those things are? Well, I'm trying to go based off of this. Wait, where is it? Do I have it on here? Is this great PDF that is posted in the education channel on Discord called Who is on the Other Side? And it basically talks about different places where you're likely to be able to generate an edge that can give you excess returns. And they, at the end of each of these chapters, they kind of go into where do you get it? Okay, so here we go. So these are behavioral inefficiencies. I think the problem with behavioral inefficiencies, as I understand it, is that a lot of them can be higher time frame. Okay. They talk about
Gary
when
Rich says learn
sentiment
to
is
fade or
uniformly
counter a
positive or
trend,
negative.
range, breakout, above a point in time, etc. etc. These are the foundations which many lack before putting on a live trade.
Fade or counter a trend, range breakout above a point in time. Yeah, well, I guess I'm trying to get a little bit more deeper. Like what is an edge that will help us see a counter trend, a breakout, a range? So sentiment is one way. Okay, but these are alike, especially like rely on valuation. That's probably higher time frame than what we want to do, right? So that one might not be super helpful to us, okay? So then we go into analytical efficiencies. So they talk about, you need to have skill. Like, do you have an analytical skill that is better than what other people can do? Like robots, can I analyze something faster than the robots can? And if you're just relying on an indicator, then the answer is no. You're seeing something that anybody that has the platform can do, right? Bayesian, that's where they got into that. I really feel like that we can incorporate that, but I haven't seen it anywhere. Like I haven't seen it. If you search for that, there's nobody that has like a pre-canned thing. So that's a place where there might be some edge that isn't public. I need to look more into that and understand that more. I understand a little bit about it, but don't think I understand enough of it to go through and like do an analysis of a particular trade and figure something out from there, right? Okay. The idea is to find situations where you have more analytical skill than your competitors. Okay, there's definitely places where I can do that because I can program, right? Well, he talks about make time your friend, so that's like higher time frame. Okay. So there's this whole thing going back to like if I could swing trade, hey, I might be able to do well. I've been trying to swing trade it though, and I run into some issues trying to do that. So, anyways, I think I was trying to force things to happen. Okay, informational efficiencies. So here they talk about paying attention. We recognize that not all information is immediately reflected in prices. The less direct the impact, the slower the market may be to reflect information, right? Here's a spot where we could have some edge, where we've interpreted news and been able to make effective trades off of it in the past, right? I need to turn this slide down a little bit. Man, that's way better. And then technical inefficiencies. So they talk about be on the lookout for forced sellers. That is definitely the spot that we're going to kind of want to look. Watch investor flows and the buying and selling that results. Seek situations where arbitrage are stretched. So these are things that we can do. And in order to do that, I think that we need to improve our read on the markets, on the E-mini, to understand when we're in a range and a counter trend and so on and so forth. I think we did okay there. Like I was able to catch a little bit of that downtrend, and then I kind of saw that they were flipping around. I'm surprised that they had such a slow and steady move back up. But, like I said, maybe there's some trapped traders down there. I think that that's probably the case, right? So there's a couple of places. That's where I want to focus right now. So more advanced statistics, better order flow reading, identifying trapped traders, reading news more effectively.
Gary Rich says Bayesian is just a model. You have to take that model, with data and run your own outcomes. Bayesian, Monte Carlo, binomial trees, and more are advanced modeling for trading or investing.
Yeah, so I think the place that I really want to try and use Bayesian modeling in particular is in trying to set a targets. Does that make sense? So like, like if what the average true range of a certain time period is, like what the average true range of a 5-minute bar is, but now you've gotten more than a 5-minute bar. How long should you hold it? At one point, do you know that we turn around? Well, you can wait and see for a reversal or something like that. But the issue with that kind of a strategy is that anything could result in a reversal, and you're going to see every reason that you can, and not all of them are going to really turn out, right? Like when you enter, you're looking for a very specific set of conditions. But when you're exiting, the set of conditions that could cause you to exit are much wider. And so there's an issue there. And you can't say, well, we're already outside of the range, so the probability of us going any further is unlikely, because we know that that's not true. We know that you'll get these breakouts and they just go and go and go, and that they're actually quite common. So I think that we can use Bayesian analysis to say, okay, now that we've had this move that has gone so far, what is the probability of it going further and readjusting everything?
Gary Rich says then you need to do regression analysis, time series studies, weighting of those data points. Looking for weighted conditions which are skewed above or below like a dot plot.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're on the same page, Gary. But I just don't feel like I know enough that I don't have an idea of like what it is that I want to do. But I think I want to do something based on this statistical analysis that I've done on range before. Is like, okay, if it's gone this far, how much further can it likely actually go? So that I can identify better exits. Because I feel like that I've had some great entries and I've had some trades that go, but I don't know when to take it off. In the E-mini, well, like in treasuries, I could tell. Like in treasuries, if you're getting like a straight uptrend, okay, like it ticks up and it ticks up and it ticks up and it ticks up, the more that it does that, the less you need for it to come back for it to justify taking it off, right? Like I get to get this thing where if it's like ticked up 8 ticks in a row, and then all of a sudden it stops and it ticks down and they stack on the offer, you just get out right there. You just get out right then and there, because it's going to pull back a few ticks at the very least, right? And you're doing so short term, you don't even want to worry about it. Or if you're coming up and you run into an iceberg at a certain spot, you probably they go through the iceberg, but you've got to be thinking about taking it off, right? But in the E-mini, I don't know. I can't tell. It doesn't do those sorts of things. So we need to come up with a completely different set of how do I deal with this, I do think that using the internals might be one spot that I really need to look into. That will help. In fact, so that's the next thing is I have the tick on there. Well, I'm just going to keep it this way for now. I think that I need to add trend onto this chart, but I don't know. I don't want to
Gary Rich
myself.
says Ninja is not going to give you the analysis we are talking about. MATLAB, R, Excel, or you can create a statistical model of trades in C, C#,
right,
etc.
Well, I think that I can build it in NinjaTrader, but it's definitely not built in, right? So we've done this like the range histogram thing, and I could probably make a dot plot. I think what you're talking about is where you say, okay, here's this data point on these two factors, and then you plot them all on a graph, and then you see if there's a trend with them. I think you're kind of talking about that sort of a thing, right? So, just about anything that I can make like show up on the screen, I can probably program it into NinjaTrader, but you're also right that we could do stuff in R. But I would like to see things that are updating live, They made a pretty good recovery there. That might just be the extent of the sell. I don't know, man. That's funny. I think that they're giving the sellers their day. When you go on CNBC, all of the headline stories are all pretty bearish. But it's probably not going to
Dan
be that
H
easy,
says
right?
trend pullbacks with order flow momentum seem simple enough to use.
Well, okay, so Dan, the issue that we're looking at there is, again, you got to think it's a competitive thing, right? So are we seeing something that everybody can see? Then that's kind of a problem, right? You can get something that actually has a high probability of happening, but everybody is trying to take the edge off of it, and they make it messy, and it becomes really difficult to take advantage of that trade. So where, like in the PDF that we were just looking at, that's where you get into, you might have to trade a higher time frame to be able to take advantage of that behavioral inefficiency, right? So, plus you got to be, plus the E-mini and order flow is kind of a complicated thing because it's an index, right? Well, that was a pretty solid turn back down. Need to look here, 95.50. This might be a spot. I think that I was a little late on that, but there's some absorption here too, so probably don't want to just try hitting into it. My voice seems a little like low register today. I think I didn't get enough water last night. I can see how the market was really positioning itself long, and then that one down candle just kind of like stopped it dead in their tracks. But I don't actually know if that's going to lead to things moving one way or another. I do notice that the euro is moving at the moment. The euro is moving up and causing the dollar to go down. That often results in the E-mini moving up, though. And treasuries pulled back and aren't really reacting, so I don't know. They're really like scared or what? Okay. I've noticed in the E-mini, you can definitely see how they kind of attack, like, they'll be push, and sometimes these guys just pull out of the way and they'll tick up a few ticks, right? But then they kind of run out of steam, they'll pull back, and they'll try and hit, they'll just take shots, right? There was a shot right there. This guy pulled. Okay, cool. Tick up. Then sometimes when he kind of loses his ground, it's like somebody trying to like walk up a hill. Sometimes he slips down a little bit. And right there was just one tick, but sometimes it ends up being like 4 ticks. And I think that one is the spot where I kind of want to try and take advantage of. But I don't know if I'm getting enough price discovery and movement here to really catch the trade that I want. You can read the strategy. Government. Oh yeah, UK has a government strategy now for easing the lockdown. Oh, missed New York Fed accepts 33 billion of 33 billion in bids at overnight repo operation. Cool. wonder what is causing. So the E-mini, maybe it was just that they had sold so much, and that's why it was like such a slow trend back up. But like, man, like when it bottomed there, it was so instant almost. Like in retrospect, it looks so instant. And then same here on the other side, all of a sudden just one bar down, and like that's the end of it. Well, we'll see if it actually ends up playing out that way. We are in a distribution area in the profile. So that's maybe one thing we should
Gary Rich says
keep
this
in
market
mind.
environment is great. It's in these ranges of 1, 2, 3% over 2, 3, 5 day. A scalper's, swing or position trader's delight.
Yeah. Well, so you know what? I've been trying to catch like that move to the target, and like they keep making it there, but they always seem to find a way to do it in a way that I'm not comfortable holding it all the way. Like on yesterday, I caught that winner that was pretty good, and wanted to try and hold it, and like it went, but they came all the way back to the entry, and I took it off, and then that was when the market chilled out, and from then the rest of the day it was like nothing but up. you know it's kind of hard. Like I think that in order to catch that thing, I have to risk almost just as much on the way, going down. It might be okay to do that because I think that I have a better than 50% chance of predicting which direction and getting the target. But okay, so seeing something here. No, that was wrong. Wrong spot completely. Nope. I mean, I want to see it go off or immediately when I get into it, right? Well, preferably. I mean, I can give it room, but like that. And then maybe it struggles a little bit and I can catch it.
Gary Rich says the fake outs come fast. You see the
Yeah.
minor of a major trend, it reverses for a short moment and goes in the original direction. It's tough and will test anyone's skill.
So here I'm wondering, should I think that I want to just be like, if I take it, then I take it, and I'm not going to try and scratch them at the moment. But yeah, like if they come back like that, seems like it's not the best thing for. Oh, I don't know why that's all the way up there. think of it, and maybe I just had the wrong direction there. Yeah. So you can see it like the absorption and everything, but then it pushes back up and the cumulative delta ends up being higher. You got something really weird happening here, that's for sure. Well, I guess it's 7:21, so that might just be preparation for the open. So Brannigan Barrett tweeting exactly what I saw this morning. Don't underestimate the new narrative. Coronavirus second wave has begun. Risk sentiment has turned, and we are going to see volatility pick up. See, I'm not so well, hold on. Germany's surge sounds coronavirus alarm as world takes steps to reopen. Germany reported on Monday that new coronavirus infections were accelerating exponentially after early steps to ease its lockdown. News that sounded a global alarm even as businesses opened from Paris hair salons to Shanghai Disneyland. See, I would expect when they use restrictions that you're going to see a lot of new cases. But is it going to be enough new cases that they're going to see the need to lock back down again? Not so sure. Overall, I feel like that demand is just not going to come back, right? Either way, I don't think the demand is just going to instantly come back. That's it right there. Okay. Sim being dumb because it ticked back up with no trades. Well, maybe not. I think I was looking for a reversal there, and really the pressure is still up. If I'm going to take that one, it needs to come back further. This is definitely a spot, though. It makes sense right there. Come on. Okay. Kind of ran into a little bump in the road there, 28.98.50. Oh, he moved up, and they filled him. Hands off. If it goes, it goes. It's fine. Like I know, like when when that happens, I feel like I know that it's not going to go and get my thing. Okay. Canada announces new measures to aid businesses impacted by COVID-19. That's a potential short right there, but it's kind of interesting. There's definitely been a change in the market today. There seems to be a new bearish sentiment, but the bulls continue the way that they were. They are not acknowledging it at all. And you get these buy pushes that just quite, well, I wouldn't say quite easily, but right in the face of opposition. It seems brazen to me. See, they're probably going to do it again right here. I think it's a little too close to the open for me, but U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin on CNBC says we will be taking advantage of zero rates. It certainly looks like things are bid at the moment, but man, I'm always nervous about like that I'm breathing on the microphone. There is definitely a decent amount of volume being traded around this 2900 area. Okay, here's the open. Guess not. This happening a lot where like I get a little bit, but then it doesn't quite make it. And then it comes back and it stops me out. Isn't that interesting? Also being late on some spots. Yeah, that was bad.
Gary Rich says VIX may Jun small contango, Jun through SEP backwardation.
I saw that the VIX was a little bit higher today. Backwardation, huh? Oh, what you got here? Oh, that's cool. Well, they're basically saying that June VIX might be a little bit higher and October VIX might be a little bit higher, but then December will be less. That's interesting. Overall.
Gary Rich says October is higher due to election.
Oh, okay, sure. That makes sense. No, I don't know if that one was the best entry right there. Might get lucky, but thank you. No. See, I keep catching it where they break. All right. Right there. Come on. Nope. Not quite. That one's struggling a little bit. So probably no. No.
Jacoby OG says why are you scalping for a point this morning? Wouldn't
We're
the
just
idea be crushed
practicing.
by the commissions for MES with a 1-to-1 stop loss?
Yeah, but we're just practicing something right now because I'm just trying to improve the overall read and order placement. So it's not so much like I think this is a great strategy that you're going to be really successful with, so much as it is, can we actually do it? Can we actually get a good win rate just going for a point? So the real what do we say? The test here is going to be what the win rate comes out to be. If we can get anything over 40%, then I'm going to be happy. So I don't think that we're definitely not going to start out being good at it, right? That one kind of failed hard, didn't it? Nope. If I get this one, I say lucky. Cool. Lucky. I think that one was lucky because it didn't quite behave the way that I wanted it to. The way that this is trading, I think that they're going to come back above that open at some point.
Smash the Bid says scalping is fine. It's his trade location that sucks.
Yeah, I don't think that my locations are always the best. And I also, I'm kind of thinking, I've taken a ton here. I haven't done too bad, actually, in the end. Starting to do okay in this area, at least. But you can see that they're going through me a little bit more than we would like. Like, really, it in optimal would be like no adverse ticks at all, right? I do kind of wonder though, if I wanted to do this, like, let's say that I come out of this with a really high win rate, and I wanted to try to turn it into a real strategy, I might need to try for 5 instead of 4, huh? But I don't think it seems to me that these tend to be going through, so probably I think I could increase it to 5 to pay for the commission. Let's not change anything today. Maybe tomorrow we can try 5.
Jacoby OG says yay, I don't think you could scalp 1-to-1 on the micros with the higher commissions.
Well, you can. It's just not worth it. Well, let me rephrase. It's just not worth very much. But hey, if you're getting, I mean, if your risk is equal to your reward and you're hitting a high win rate, you will make money. This is not going to be a ton. But I don't necessarily care about that. German virus surge sounds coronavirus alarm as world takes steps to reopen. Germany reported Monday that new coronavirus infections were accelerating exponentially after early steps to ease its lockdown. Which is interesting because, I mean, Germany was hit pretty hard,
Jacoby OG
weren't
says
they?
I guess it's just so hard with a 1-point stop in this market. Your timing has to be perfect.
But that's the whole point, really. The whole point here is to try and nail down that timing. See that spot where it's really safe to take it. So there's a little bit of absorption at 04. Well, the buyers are pushing pretty strongly. Okay, well, I think I need a little bit more water, so I'm going to go and do that while this is kind of resolving, all right? No, did it really move while I was gone? Oh, wait, I didn't even get my... Wait, I'm so dumb. Hold on. Okay, I guess we are going to take a little bit of a break here and hold the baby because he is not sleeping and my wife needs to sleep. Okay. Hello. Now, oh, wait. Oh, so you got it right here. You might see throw up. Just warning you, you might see throw up. I hear that you are not sleeping. You know, this is a problem, son, right? Sleep is very important. You have to go to bed on time or you will not perform at your optimal. But you know what's even worse than that? Is that you are keeping other people up so that they cannot perform at their optimal. We're going to have to fix this. Sorry, I wish I could make it so you could see it a little bit better, but I mean, you can guys see him. All right, so there might have been I do see the absorption there at the top. So, the book isn't really, well, the book is changing a little bit. It's so hard to tell in the e-mini, but looks like somebody's tired and is trying to avoid falling asleep. Are you trying to avoid falling asleep? Yeah, you're gonna fall asleep eventually. It's gonna happen, bud. So like there appears to have been like a significant turn there, but I wouldn't be surprised if the buyers just ignore it and bust through there. These buyers seem really brazen to me. You see what I mean? I'm not saying that they can't break through or anything like that. I'm just saying, after something like that, I'm a little cautious about a new high, and they are not concerned about it at all. I'm also noticing in the 10-year that they've kind of flattened out a little bit. In fact, the pressure might have turned. They might turn back down in the 10-year. Can you guys hear these sounds? After he sneezes, this makes the funniest noise. He's looking at it. Do you see that look in his eye? He's disgusted. He's like, look at these guys. Look at what they're. This is awful. Oh, Donald Trump. Great credit being given for our coronavirus response, except in the fake news. They are a disgrace to America. Tweets Donald Trump, President of the United States. They're turning down a little bit harder this time. It definitely looks like some people bailing there. Like the cumulative delta is definitely turning.
Air Cages says hello, baby.
Hello. I wish the camera caught it better. I guess I need to tilt it down a little bit more. Okay, buyers found a little bit of support there. See if they catch any of these sellers off guard or not here. So I'm sure that a couple of people like piled into that. No? Still kind of stuck. Are you going to throw up on me? Yeah, let's take these headphones off. They gonna go? They gonna go? There was an outside bar there, so there's definitely they're definitely in the mode. Why are you sticking your tongue out at me? Oof. Okay. There was a good sweep there. Oh, there's the spit up. Let me clean it. Is there more coming? No? How are you? Are you not sleepy at all? I would think that you would maybe be a little bit sleepy by this point. I mean, especially if you've been up all night. Because when I woke up to go to the bathroom last night, you were awake. And mom was
Air
feeding you.
Cages says, did you hear that order flow is an outdated concept?
I read, well, I've commented in that thread. Did you not see me? My name on Futures.io is not quite the same. Like I have my status so that it says Speculator Seth, but I have a weird name. There's still a lot of flow coming in here. I just so going back to what we've been talking about all morning. Hopefully you can hear me okay here.
Jacoby OG says that thread was funny to me.
You thought that thread was funny? Well, I think one of the things that you're gonna get is that everybody wants to make excuses for why what they do works and what everybody else does doesn't work. And the issue is that to really conclusively say that something works, I really think you need to have a high bar. Like I say that the bar should be 2 years of
Cages says,
statements.
why do you think they're emailing that thread to everyone?
I don't know. Probably are they emailing it to them? I think that the board just picks which threads are being active and mails it to people. To be honest, but it's just like anything else. It's just like one tool, and a lot of it depends on how you use it. And there certainly are people out there that are profitable with order flow, but you kind of have to question like how much of their profitability was order flow and how much of it was something else, and but it's always going to come back down to what is it that you're doing that's going to give you an advantage, right? So I think that order flow has one advantage in respect to traditional technical analysis in that it is extremely difficult to duplicate, right? Like you can't necessarily get historical order flow that you can run a back test on as a retail trader. Like you have
Bot
to build
says you
it.
don't think Mike picks the thread to email.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know, but I think that it's possible that it does it automated. Like it does it often enough that I thought that it was automated. Well, you got to keep in mind that Mike thinks that you should swing trade. Is basically the gist of what he thinks. But anyways, and not only so order flow is hard to like run a back test on, but then the sorts of things that you might see as a trader, like it's hard to even explain. Like I can explain the concepts, but in terms of why I picked where I did, part of it is just the cosmic coincidences of what makes you you know and how can you program that. I don't think that we have the technology to do that, so that is one advantage, but that doesn't mean that it's just going to straight up work all the time, right? It's like the thing that I like about order flow compared to traditional indicators.
Gary Rich says if order flow doesn't work, there are gonna be a whole lot of pissed
Yeah.
off traders.
Well,
LOL.
is that I feel like when I do technical analysis, that a lot of the time what happens seems kind of random to me based off of the signal. It's like if I get an inside bar and an outside bar, and based on how those turn, I would expect for it to come up, but the reality is that it's quite random. When I do an order flow, the outcome of it is usually very, very clear, but it's still difficult to predict because you have to know what kind of market you're in, and that can be really difficult, right? So it's not random, it's more there's this one little missing component that you might have a hard time finding. So I like that about order flow. I think that order flow is a place that you can, I think it's more fertile ground to develop an edge than traditional technical analysis, but it's still hard. I mean, and I am to the point now. I feel like that I made a thread about this on Futures.io and nobody's responded to it, which, whatever. But like honestly, technical analysis, like the term, it's useless now because everybody wants to say that their thing isn't technical analysis when from the
Air
strictest
Cages says
definition,
people are asking
it
the wrong
is.
questions.
People are asking the wrong questions. Yeah, I don't know. You got some more coming? Okay. Just don't get it on me, please. Why are you sticking your tongue out at me? Huh? Do you think it's funny? Mm. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, just swallow it back down. He's got really bad like heartburn.
Gary Rich says set up, signal, wait for another additional signal, enter when order flow shows, provides liquidity at your entry with a stop.
So this is interesting that you think that you want to see liquidity with at your entry with a stop. Is that to mean that you're seeing liquidity where you got in and you don't think it's going to go through, or are you saying that there's liquidity down at your stop and that it's not going to touch your stop? Because I've kind of doing the first. What's up? Okay. Here, can I hold you up?
Gary Rich says yes.
You okay? You're struggling with it, keeping it down. Yeah. I know. I know. Here, look, let me show you something, okay? Let me show you something. There we are. Okay, there's Rich says yes. Right there, look. Look, there's the baby. There's the baby. Hello. Can you smile for them? Say hello. No? I wish you could see it when he's looking at me. If I just hold him and look at him, he gets like this look of like pure joy. I mean, it's not me. It's anybody that does it, but he just likes to be looked at. I think maybe that's a baby thing. Gary says yes. Oh, I because I asked which one of these do you mean, and he says yes. I guess that means both.
Luis Alarid says look dad that market sucks goo goo.
See, I'm trying to teach him. He's been getting vocal with us, haven't you? Can you say stuff for us? Would you like to talk to the internet? No. So we're trying to get him to say mom. Mom is trying to get him to say mom, but I'm trying to get him to say bye bye bye. You think it's a buyer's market? No. It's just a mess. Is kind of what it looks like at the moment. It's a little bit of a mess. So I have been waiting. I have been waiting for like the order flow shows the liquidity and everything. But you notice that I will get this thing where like I think there's liquidity there, and then all of a sudden it'll slip right through me. So I'm not quite sure how to anticipate that, because that's a real problem to what I'm trying to do. But I'm also trying to avoid it by having a little bit of momentum in my favor too. Like I'm in the general direction anyways. Like right now we're moving up, so I'd want to be up. They've come back a little bit and I'm seeing liquidity, and I'm already starting to see acceleration up again. That was where I was taking it. So the Donald Trump is apparently out there talking up the market.
Gary Rich says check his diaper and see if it's a buy or sell environment. Green good, brown bad.
Oh, it's always green. It's always green, man. That means this is a bullish baby. That's what that means. Although most of the I don't think that he has any bulls on any of his outfits. I think he might have one or two that are bears. Is that what's going on? Have we been socializing our children to become gay bears. Oh my gosh. What? I'm gonna have to, look into this more. Larry Cermak asks, when will the CME overtake BitMEX in terms of open interest? Oh, that's interesting. I don't think ever, because I think that some of the activity on these other exchanges is fake. Ooh, oil's taking a big jump up there. Oh, here's some more. Where did our... Uh-oh, here it is.
Eric says, is he trading for you?
Unfortunately not. Nope. He's looking at the colors, though. I think he likes the colors. We were kind of hoping that he would fall asleep, but he does not want to sleep. But he's still getting that heartburn. Huh. You okay? I'm worried that he will start, because sometimes he will just like out of nowhere start crying, and I think it's the heartburn.
Luis Alarid says he looks up to the E-Trade Kid.
What do you think? You want to be a market icon like the E-Trade Kid? No. You just don't. You're just sitting here and don't really know what's going on, huh?
Jacoby OG says, cute kid. I have a 2.5 years old and 2-week-old.
Oh, you have a 2-week-old Jacoby? Oh, congratulations. Asher is 3 months. Okay, so there's a lot of volume trading there at 2907. Look at that. So is it going to turn there? Or is that the straw that pushes them higher? What do I see going on over here? The tick just looks really bullish to me today.
Sebastian Marquez says, good morning, Seth. Hey, I didn't know you had TikTok, ha ha ha.
Did you come across, did TikTok show you one of my TikToks? Which one did it show you? I haven't been posting a ton of stuff. I probably should. I've noticed some market guys on TikTok, and a lot of the stuff that they say really irks me sometimes. So you know what's the one that drives me crazy is they say you shouldn't try to time markets, which is true. Like
Luis Alarid says, I too have a kid of 20.5-year-old.
Oh, okay. But it's true, like a regular investor shouldn't try and time the market. But the way that they try to explain that you shouldn't do it is, I think, a little bit bullshit. Because they say, okay, here's this person, and they didn't put their money in until the bottom. And then here's this person that they just put their money in every week. And here's how much money this person has, and here's how much this money has. And they're not really doing the optimal situation for the person. If you get in at the bottom and you get out at the top, you're going to make twice as much because you got like half as much of a price. Like just straight up from that alone. So like sure, it's important to continue to put money in there, but I think that they are purposely misconstruing the risk advantage of trying to pick the bottom. Like people freaking do it for a reason, guys. If it wasn't that way, then everybody would just passively invest. There is serious incentive in picking the bottom. A regular investor maybe shouldn't do it, but let's, I don't I if you we shouldn't have to use such a tilted example to convince people of it. You know what I mean? And I see that sort of stuff on TikTok constantly. There's a few that are good that kind of stick more to like that. Oh my gosh. You okay, bud? I can try burping you if you got a bubble down in there. We'll see what he does. He doesn't seem too bothered by it yet. Now that is a little bit bothered by that. You like a binky? No, no. Okay, hold on. Come here. I got you. All right, just let it on out. Let it on out. No, 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 no. Don't spit up on my shoulder, please, okay? Right there. Whoops. Okay, now the tick is, well, they keep turning down like they're gonna do it, but then they don't do it. But this time they might get it. It sure does look like they're struggling at that high, and there's a lot of absorption up there. And I see GovTrader tweeting Fed's quarter two GDP estimated negative 34.9%. So what now? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not getting a burp. Okay, let's just put
Gary
right
Rich
there.
says picking tops and bottoms is like picking boogers from a dead man's nose.
It's like picking boogers from a dead man's nose. Well, I'm not saying that you should do it. I'm just saying don't misconstrue the potential reward if you actually do catch it. What's up? What's wrong now? Okay. Do we need? Let's try the binky. Okay. There's the binky. Mm. I think you're getting sleepy. Yeah, but also in pain. Okay.
Jacoby OG says how is he sleeping at night?
Apparently, he didn't sleep very well last night. He kept waking mom up, and it's kind of turning into this thing where it's like you have to hold him and look at him, or he gets unhappy and wakes up. He wakes up, oh, nobody's looking at me, and he gets upset. What? Oh, are you bored? Are you bored? But look at all the pretty colors. It's not boring. No? Maybe I am boring, guys. Because let's stand up. Look, now we're standing and we're walking around. Is that more interesting? Is it? Is it more interesting? Is it more interesting? You're happier now that I'm standing, huh? Yeah. Yeah. You're a real pill right now. I feel like I'm potentially raising a pampered brat. Especially since all of the other kids are gone right now and it's just you, and you got all of the attention that you want. Like even so much. Look at this. Look, we are streaming right now, and I'm taking care of you instead of trading like I normally would. Like that is how far we are going for you today. Oh, you're so tired. Yeah, you really are. Can you feel it? Can you feel your eyes getting heavy and like you're drifting off and oh I just want to sleep and oh you start thinking about weird things and you start having thoughts that aren't intentional because like your subconscious is taking over. You're falling asleep. So you tell you what. So something else that's been going on lately that's been driving me crazy is when I go on like especially Facebook, everybody's like, "Oh, support and resistance, support and resistance." Okay, so look, there's resistance up there. It is definitely there. All right. Are we going to break through it or are we going to break down? Can you predict? Do you have something that allows you to predict what's going to happen there more accurately than everybody else? Because honestly, if it's just a line, how are you generating edge off of a line that everybody sees? Really? Oh, by the way, we have a new video out. I forgot to link it around. Oh man. Well, oh, I should go and get it, but I'm holding the baby. Well, we have a video. I'll send it to you guys afterwards. I guess it doesn't matter as long as you know. Yeah, there's certain things with the algorithm about how many people watch it when it comes out, but then it doesn't have to be immediate. But we have a video about why 95% of traders fail. So make sure that after the stream today that you go and you watch that video. Mm-hmm. You are breathing awfully heavy, bud. You just relax. I guess I should make a prediction. I don't know if that leg right there is it, but I do think that in the end that they're gonna bounce off of this area because when you look at how far down we've come today, for them to be receiving that much resistance at that spot, I think is significant. Did you just fill your diaper? I think you may have just filled your diaper. Donald Trump tweets Obamagate makes Watergate look small time. you before you fall asleep, all right? Be right back.
Luis Alarid says lynch the Black Prez, we will have a big problem on our hands.
Well, it definitely looks like an ascending range. I think that's going a little too far, Lewis. I don't think that's what he's saying. The news story is Obama participated in plot to frame Flynn. That's the story that they're talking about here. I'm really skeptical about their ability to pin actual legal culpability onto him in a court of law. But we'll see how it plays out. Let's see if they're able to make it into a thing or not. Can you eat that? Come on. What's wrong? Why don't you want the pinky? Oh, that's why. You're still having it, yeah? Did you eat too much?
Luis Alarid says I heard the word treason.
Oh, it's okay. What's wrong? You're getting a little tired, aren't we? It's a little warm in this room. Doesn't that make you sleepy? Kind of makes me sleepy. We need to figure out the AC. They turning down again? How many times? You think this time they're actually going to fail? What do you think? Well, I don't see the treasuries turning up there. Actually, treasuries kind of took a little dive. That dive was actually maybe a little extreme. Hmm. You're just fine. I wrapped you up like that for your own good. By the way, do you have any idea how tired this makes my arm? We're gonna switch. Yeah, we're switching. We're switching. There you go. I switched. What you gonna do about it? The talking makes you sleepy, huh? Am I that boring? If I'm that boring, how do my viewers stay awake?
Live Action says, can this post be seen?
Bot says yes at Live Action.
Yes, I know. It's funny, isn't it? He really doesn't want to go to sleep. Yeah. See, that's not a bad spot to sit, is it? Quite comfortable.
Luis Alarid says, thanks, got the coffee mug.
Oh, it came? You like it? It's like I know it looks great on a stream. But like really when you get it, you're like, "Oh wow. This is just I'm just so happy to have this." Hey, still here? Yeah. You've thrown up all over yourself. What are we going to do about that? Hmm? You into the cold? Let's make sure that you got something over your feet, okay? There you go. Mm. Yeah.
Jacoby OG says, oh wow, that move down, I saw liquidity there and next second they snapped it back.
Ooh. Prime Minister, repeat, this is the first time the Prime Minister has made a statement on coronavirus in the House of Commons. So something's going on. They definitely did not like that. There is some absorption here at the bottom. I think they might go through it. Oh, wait. I see a big drop in oil, too. The treasuries didn't tick up, though. Does the
Luis
pressure
Alarid says, I
change?
feel like a Goldman trader now.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to just give it. I can't really watch it, so this is not like really a very well thought out trade, but just from everything that I'm seeing at the moment, I think that the treasuries might get a little spike here. Yes, you're fine. Look at you.
Gary Rich says, are those mugs made in USA or China? If China, did it have a thank you note? Welcome to COVID-19, one bat at a time.
If China made it, then have a thank you note. Welcome to COVID-19, one bat at a time. I don't know where they're made. Oh, it says. You can't see it. I guess they are made in China. At least the mug itself is. They might have printed it here domestically.
Kevin Wimmer says, made in the Free State of Hong Kong. Winston's mom says, look how cute speculator Seth is with his baby. And good morning to everyone. Cool mug.
Available in our online shop now. See the video description for more details. And on the topic of traders gonna trade, make sure that you check out this week's video. So there's a video up right now. It's called "Why 95% of Traders Fail." Because traders gonna trade. Yeah. Oh no, I'm looking at you. Yes, you are cute. Yeah. Okay, but don't you think that you should go to sleep? I think. Well, I mean, you're pretty happy right now, but I think that we'd both be a little.
Winston's mom says, traders gonna trade. I need to buy one of those from your channel. Give me a day or two. And now will everyone please hit like, thanks.
I don't understand why you're awake right now. Yeah. You just want people to look at you and smile, huh? Hey, thanks. Yep. I mean, I put it in there. I just think I thought a long time about like what would be the brand, and you guys were saying TikTards and quote cult and things like that. But I think in the end, I think the thing that really truly encapsulates markets is that traders are going to trade, right? Like it doesn't always do what's rational, because it's just trading. And people always ask me, "Hey, why is the market down?"
Gary
Traders
Rich
gonna
says,
trade.
gotta get your merch on Seth shirts, hats, bumper stickers, socks, etc., etc. Sell
Oh
it
yeah.
all.
Oh no, you can get it on a shirt and a sticker. It's all there in the link below. I didn't get the shirt and everything. I'm hoping that they'll get like a polo at some point. I think a trader is going to trade polo would be their great, Yeah. You doing okay? Yes. Why are you such a happy baby? Huh? Yeah. You're throwing up all the time. You're not sleeping, but you're still happy. You just love to look in my face. Yeah. I tell you what, there's a lot of correlation with this move on oil, but I don't see, Johnson, any move wrong about the coronavirus could be catastrophic. First squawk, New York City
Winston's mom
lockdown
says, we
likely
owned a
to continue
transportation
into
company that
June,
would buy the
Mayor says.
movers'
Into
t-shirts and management the
June?
polos.
What?
They are not expensive in bulk.
Oh yeah, getting shirts printed is not crazy expensive. There's so much competition for it that it's pretty low margin. So here in Utah, we're easing restrictions. I guess we'll see if cases increase or not. But man, till June, that's a surprise to me. I think that could be a surprise to markets too. But I think that the market is concerned about what they're saying in the UK right now. I'm really tempted. Like, I want to just short the E-mini, but we do have a long in the treasuries that is holding pretty good. So I think that we can be satisfied with that. Maybe the baby will go to sleep and we can try and pull a few more points out, huh? Yeah.
DJ Spinglass says good morning Seth. Anyone, can I get your 2 cents on why the market is one way pre-market then reverses at open?
Well, so DJ Spinglass, what's kind of interesting, the market pretty much erased all of the gains from Friday. Sorry, I have the baby here and he wants the attention. Now since then we've moved up, but you notice there was really, really hard resistance at 29.10. So I don't think we can say that it's just like a one-way market and then reverses it open and all of that. Um, it's interesting. I think one of the things you got to realize happens is that there's all these algorithms and even people too. And the people who have strategies that work, they make more money and they become stronger in the market. And the people whose strategies don't work get washed out and leave the market. And so eventually what you're going to end up is a situation where pretty much everybody is trading the same way. Like really recently, it's pretty much turned into you just buy it. And this morning, where the buyers have been pretty brazen.
Winston's mom says I was listening to The
It is
Economist
funny.
this weekend. They were saying the market is
All the
going
traders on one
FOMO.
side.
Fear of missing out, because
Yeah.
everyone knows hard times is usually when fortunes can be made.
Bot
Yep.
says 10:45, end of counter trend period.
Well, I think that this UK press conference is still going, and that appears to be affecting the market right now. So we would be careful about things right now. They could say something that really pushes us down or up. It does seem like they're really bearish. Okay, so I'm seeing a big offer above me at 29. When did that get there? What? Yes, you are.
Gary Rich says when is UK PM Johnson gonna get a new hairstyle? He looks like a shaggy dog. Low maintenance hairstyles.
New hairstyle. Anyways, we've come back, but only so far, right? We're still in this area that I really have a hard time. Like there's resistance above us for sure. Is this a consolidating triangle up and we're gonna break through it? Or is this gonna break down? And I'm not so sure that we can really accurately predict
Bot
that right
says
now.
ZB struggling to stay afloat above 179.16.
Yeah. I may have to bail on this because, well, okay, so it is gone. Seeing that big order on top of us at 29 was not a good thing, but it's gone for now. See, there's a tick down, and it kind of shows up. People buying into it, but they're offering. It looks like the bulls are going to try and make this gap back up and push higher. Yeah, see right there. That's not what we want to see. I can't really manage it. I should just be clicking out, but it's fine. This is sim trade. I'm not too focused on it right now. Trying to get this child to go to sleep. Please go to sleep. It's not funny. It's not funny. You should be asleep. It is funny, but I mean, it's not. I don't want you to think it's funny because then you're just going to stay up.
Luis Alarid says Cali Gov executive order for mail-in voting November as executive orders the thing now?
Don't they already have everything mail-in voter in California anyways? I don't. Okay. Okay, here comes the sellers again.
Gary Rich says the Big Five are lifting the NAS, Dow, S&P getting no love to erase these lows. They keep trying. Air Cages says did the baby make you less aggressive? RJ Wheels
Not
says
sure
Chop
what you mean
City.
by that.
Air Cages says they say babies make men less aggressive or something. Jacoby OG says here's what I see.
I'm not. I don't
MACD
see it.
downtrend since 945, cumulative delta downtrend since 945. Price unable to break 2,910.
You notice that these buyers, they're just doing the same thing, right? They're really brazen, and despite that, they're not breaking through. So I don't know if it's going to do it or not. I mean, it looks like an ascending triangle. But if they fail, then they're going to get hurt, and it could be very ugly.
Winston's mom says less aggressive, go 2 or 3 days without sleep, a baby and a job and you don't become less aggressive. It's a good thing moms test higher in openness and agreeableness.
Do moms test higher in openness and agreeableness? Because my assumption would be that women are less open. But that's just a guess. But are we saying that women in general are, or are we saying like new mothers?
Luis Alarid says Papa Bear will defend the lair.
I mean, like they're so close to a new high, right? The treasuries don't seem to be indicating that we're going to have a
Gary Rich
drop
says
here.
I tried to book a trip to Hawaii very cheap. Issue I would have to quarantine in hotel for 2 weeks then enjoy a trip.
You realize that we're on Livestream right now, right? So why do they continue to stack 19
Winston's
at
mom
28,
says
F, and
openness is
29?
creativity, so they do tend to be a bit more openness. Lol, I don't craft or hobby, but I am creative. Winston's mom says Gary Rich, I thought I would be traveling this summer and it's killing me watching all of these cheap tickets, flights that are available. Air Cages says Gary Rich stay inside. Don't be a dipshit.
Don't you want to catch it? Like I'm sitting over here thinking, at what point are they going to, create certified coronavirus survivors, and those are people with, high in demand for jobs? Huh? If they start doing that, that would be a real problem because People will want to get sick. So they were like just barely about to do it, and they got smacked down again. The buyers are fighting this one though. Are they gonna go? Oh, if it goes, come on. I just want to see something exciting. I want to see a good strong sell. Like those sells on like what Wednesday and Thursday going into the close. Those were beautiful, beautiful moves. Hey, what? Okay, so we're like right at the hour open right now at 29:05. So things might be turning. Treasuries aren't really changing a whole lot.
Luis Alarid says go to paradise to enjoy the inside of the hotel room I wildlant.
Okay, I don't think he's gonna fall asleep unless I pick him up again. So I'm gonna try picking him up again.
Jacoby OG says I really want to go short here, but buyers are staying relentless. Air Cages says traveling will never be the same after COVID. Gary Rich says new jobs, COVID-19 checkers. Kick in the door, shove test up nose, slap mask, and drink Lysol. Stimmy jobs Green New Deal jobs plan. Winston's mom says, wildlant, I am curious to see if she says wouldn't correctly this time. Air Cages says welcome to Baby TV. Luis Alarid says this hurricane of COVID hopefully will pass on, damaged world will creep on. Gary Rich says Seth just add a few drops of whiskey to his sippy cup, he'll rest soon.
Wouldn't you rather be held? No. Here's a Pinky.
Jacoby OG says what Gary said. Winston's mom says lol, Gary Rich. Air Cages says vodka works best. Winston's mom says one sock. The inevitable one sock on the baby's foot. Why do they always lose only one tiny baby sock, and I never noticed until I was already at the grocery store. Luis Alarid says a little edible will do it. Air Cages says why not both? Air Cages says parenting 101. Winston's mom says a little edible for everyone just might help about now. Lol, not legal in my state, but it might be awfully nice. Winston's mom says I have no idea, Air Cages, but it's always only one sock.
Parenting 101, just a little vodka. Good grief, dude. Okay, there's 8K going into 28. Huh. So we've got a little bit of a divergent market here. There are sellers in the E-mini. They really want it to fall. It's not going. And then here in the treasuries are kind of pushing down a little bit. There's some big absorption. Now, that might turn and stop there, but I don't know. There is so much uncertainty around this level right now. I tell you what. New York Fed consumer expectations deteriorate for second consecutive month. Majority of India states are said to be in favor to extend the lockdown until June. Okay, so they pushed through the bid. It was almost 10K.
Gary Rich says pressure in the 2/10 of a year ahead of funding auctions, Bloomberg.
Yeah, it looks to me like I wasn't taking like a super serious trade. I guess it has kind of held okay in the 10-year, but overall it seems to not really be reacting the way that I'd be expecting. Well, there's a tick up. If they can hit 28.5, that'd be great. So I can see the E-mini is trying to start this process.
Winston's mom says my husband woke up with a big fat lip. No idea how this happened, and hopefully it's not COVID lip, a new thing like COVID toes.
What?
I know I didn't punch him in my sleep, but gosh, he looks terrible.
Man. That one looked a little too close. I don't know if they're gonna... This might be the one where it fails and they just bump back up. That 28 is not giving up, but they're not hitting in a 28.5, not yet.
Luis Alarid says selling gold and Canadian.
Bot says ZB and S both trying to get outside of last month's April inside month.
Yeah. Now they do it. See? Cool. Nope. It was a good try. Probably not enough momentum for that one. It's 907. Well, that 28 is still holding pretty good, but they're not really hitting it at 28.5. See all of the businesses happening at 28? Keep seeing this news on Twitter about the UAE reducing their oil output more, but I'm not really. Well, I mean, I guess the oil market did move 50 cents there, but it kind of looks stuck for the moment.
Gary Rich says 3 meters Lieber higher than 2.5 year.
Interesting.
JB says good video on the 95 fifths.
You liked that? Thank you. I had spent a lot of time thinking about that video over the months, and I still wasn't sure if I wanted to post it or if I was ready to, but I felt like that where the markets were at, it was the appropriate time to make it. So I had the opportunity, and I said, well, I better take advantage of with the kids being gone to, some quiet time to record a good video. So put it together, and I didn't need a lot of cuts for that video. So I feel like that this one is a lot more, I don't know, like heartfelt, I guess, genuine. So I hope you guys like it. Okay. It's interesting. You can get like 2 or 3 ticks of trend, but it seems like it's really hard to just get 4. All right. Let's spread the link around a little bit. 42 views already. Wow, nice. Wow. Well, for those of you on the live stream, here's the link. It looks like we just ran out of requests. I did, and I left a comment. Today is a perfect day that matches my compound. Sometimes the best thing to do is not trade. I still like the coding ones for selfish reasons coming from TradeStation. Yeah. Well, I think, I've been thinking a little bit because I kind of see the situation changing. I noticed your earthquake video is over 18K views. Is that really the case? I wonder if that's what it's recommending to people. That's hilarious. It's given a buy there, but they were selling. They're so close to that high. What was I had a thought and I can't, like, I lost it. Oh yeah. So I think that we're in a kind of a spot where, because we're coming into the summer markets and everything, things might get crazy again. But man, no, I missed that one. That one really. Okay. The summer months are usually really difficult for me, anyways. So, we're gonna have time to practice. That's why I'm doing this one point thing right now. And it's kind of time for us to focus on developing our edge a little bit more. And where can we do it? Well, man, I haven't been doing so well with these shorts, have I? How many is that? That's 4 in a row. But those were all sells. I do see a buy there. Stick your tongue out and we'll read it. That's funny. No. I think now is just a good time for me to look back and kind of re-gear some things because the market has changed. It's going to be summer months, so I'm not going to be doing a lot of live trading in the summer anyways. So we can focus a little bit more on um, you know long form content and programming content and developing our edge. And when we develop our edge, which is during this time when we're streaming, really want to focus on, skills that I think are going to be more um, difficult for people to replicate, essentially. So that's why I'm trying to build this 1 point thing. I don't think that that's the most effective thing I can possibly do, but it's the best thing that I know of at the time. So we're going to kind of work on that and continue to try and find more advanced models to use on the programming side. So that just kind of means maybe the content might change a little bit. We might be going to try to be a little more entertaining because I'm not so into the, okay, here's this strategy thing and I really got to work it out. It's kind of more developing this. Well, I don't think this is a good spot. Kind of in this, it was strange pullback area. and the market is kind of turning rangy again. It's where I would expect to start to see some price discovery start. Maybe they break this high and that's how it starts. I don't know. Yeah, they're looking excited. Did read that last bubble good. Well, coronavirus infections are rising in Germany, official data shows, just days after the country eased its lockdown restrictions. Well, that's not. I mean, all that means is that I'm a little. I don't know how to read some of this news. Sometimes I honestly am not entirely convinced that the way it is reported is really like accurate and reliable in terms of like what you could trade off of. Because if they just eased their restrictions, then they're not even seeing the impact of easing restrictions yet, right? Because it takes 2 weeks. I think we really got to question this. It kind of looks to me though like the bulls in the E-mini don't care. Now that might just be because their strategy is just bullish in general, and it's going to take a big sell to humble them. But I mean, we've seen big sells at the close, but not during the open. Not when all of these day traders are around, whose strategy basically is buy. Okay, 29.10. It's pretty high buy pressure there, and it's not. I'm not seeing the orders again. Ouch. Okay, there's the high. That was not. They should have way more in them than that. So this might stop out and then go up and push higher. I don't know. Right there. Hmm. Um. I'm seeing clicking. In the E-mini. Got some fiddling around on the bed. New high and it's become extremely tight again. Oh, you're probably saying some things where 29, 28, 25 is your 50% plus fixed target this morning from your fixed range indicator. And interesting. I don't know. The way that the market has been behaving today, I think that we might be have a hard time reaching the target today. Unless, of course, the Londoners close things out and then like it turns after that or something like that. You see, it's clicking. It's pulling from the offer. Well, and on the bid. Somebody's working the market here pretty heavily. Yeah, he pulled his order there at 29.10 and they rushed down to get to him. There is a big cluster of stuff here, though. Okay. Hmm. Dang it. Damn it. I missed it. There is something's happening. They're working the book. I guess we got the London close coming up. Nope. Look, this is a price discovery they were looking for. I don't like the way it turns like that, though. Well, buyers are going to get a new high, huh? Hmm. Oh, right, because of this other one. Okay, cool. I was looking at it, I was like, oh, I didn't lose that much, but then I remembered there was that CN trade. Hmm. Mm. 2913 is volume point of control from Friday, RTH. Oh, really? Hmm. I'm also seeing some odd divergence between MES and ES today. Normally they go hand in hand, never more than a tick difference, and today I'm seeing a 1 point difference. Not sure why. I think it'd actually be a surprise, JB. I did a study on it, and they're almost always 2 to 3 ticks apart when it moves. They're just kind of a little slow. I've seen divergences like of 70 ticks between the two of them before. When I did this statistical analysis, I was quite surprised at how much they could diverge. Probably during news events, but still, it's insane, right? That was just a really big volume node back there at 2910. Oh yeah, it looks so big on the Vista chart, but then on the volume profile, you don't see anything odd. Slow like today in Muse, as you say. Yeah, it's pretty. The thing is I don't really feel like that the E-mini is necessarily being slow as it is being difficult, right? Like, the buyers still seem to have the edge, but they got plenty of fight. Although I do have to admit the tick is pretty tight. Okay. Well, there's 930. ES is hitting new highs, but it's been relatively nonchalant about it. NQ all-time high is near? Really? Slow is in it's not all over the place during the fall. I could scalp a 2-point profit in milliseconds at times as it was just jumping around that much. Yeah, it was jumping around a lot. But then it moves up. Like, the whole thing is a little silly. I'm seeing people saying that NQ is getting close to its all-time high. That you got to be kidding me, right? I don't think I'm as rested as I should be. I just feel sleepy right now. It is warm in this room. For whatever reason, the vent is not clearing us out very well. Did I click that? I don't remember doing that. I ask every day, where is this buyer optimism coming from? Based on what? Based on the Federal Reserve buying corporate bonds. That's really the gist of it. See, the Federal Reserve came in and said that they're going to buy bonds, but then all the market said, "Oh well, if the Federal Reserve is going to do it, then we'll do it." So they all started buying it, and the companies all had plenty of liquidity to go around, and then that's beneficial on the stock price and moves them up. Even though the economy is like in a depression, it's like the very definition of a dead cat bounce, isn't it? The valuation is so negative that it can create this just absolutely irrational buying wave. But the problem with this one is that it could continue on. I mean, the federal, like, who's going to really stand in front of the Federal Reserve? Like, there's people, sellers came in today. They were reasonably smart about it. They had some good moves, but ultimately the shorts did not win. It moved up. Based on what FOMO is what I hear, people are worried that they will miss the lows of this market. People make their fortunes during downward spirals. This time may be different. Yeah, I'm not saying that we're not going to go and hit all-time highs and that you shouldn't buy it, but I just would, if I'm going to invest, I want to be investing based on that I'm getting a good price. And I just don't see how you justify that you're getting a good price right now. Imagine the U.S. Treasury sweeps the Fed to lows Treasury, placing the trades through the Fed via BlackRock. Well, I am really concerned about what happens if the market takes a turn down. Because if it's all based on Federal Reserve buying, then you're basically going to end up with a lot of black bag holders that are going to feel a little betrayed. At some point, you know, kind of what happens is, like I said, everybody gets going in with the same strategies, and you're seeing that in the E-mini. They're being quite brazen about it. And at some point, a large enough player changes their mind and decides to go short, and that's the end of the party. You know? What does it take? At what point does that big guy that changes and decides that he needs to make a change is Powell? At what point does Powell say that we've pushed the market up too much? Because you get this thing where if you're increasing the monetary supply to deal with decreasing demand, but then you get too much of it, then you get runaway inflation and you have to step on the brakes at like the worst time. It's just too warm in here and I just feel like I'm falling asleep. Well, I probably should get going now. It's 9:30. I was hoping that they were going to give me an opportunity. I do think Some of those trades were taken in the wrong spot. For the most part, though, other than the stuff before the open, we were just kind of break even-ish. Why is this on echo? Well, that would explain a lot. It says that the entryway is 70 degrees right now. You gotta be kidding me. So hot in here. Owl, who is Owl? You ever heard this joke where they're like, did you hear about the person that's been possessed by the owl? And then they say, who? And you go, I did that to my kids and I got them pretty good with it. So get warmer and warmer. Will everyone please hit like before he leaves for the rest of the day? Thanks, and I hope everyone's Monday is pleasant. Yeah. I think you know what? There's only so far they can go, right? Well, if they hit 28, we'll see. That's the daily target. Probably, it wouldn't be unreasonable for them to go back up to even 31. Overall, though, kind of looks like, man, kind of looks like there was some movement and it stalled out, and then the buyers are just kind of slowly drifting higher off of the shorts unwinding. So, all right, how many? I took way too many. I took so many more of these than I thought I would. I probably need to be more selective. I have like a lot of strings too. Like I catch a lot of in the trend and then a bunch without the trend, which is really interesting. Well, anyways, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Make sure you watch the video here. Let me put the link in here again. Make sure you watch the video. Give a like on the video and leave a comment. I would like to. Why don't you tell me how long have you been trading? Tell me how long. I'll go and put a comment on it. Let's go do that. Why? Here we go. Refresh. Oh, there's JB's comment. How long have you been trading for? I just do that. Comments. And like this. A trader's gonna trade. That might be the difference between the 95 and the 5 is how much they trade. No, it really is like he just here's the thing. If you're still there, JB, like if everybody was more careful about where they took their trades, then it all just balances back out again, right? Like it's not so much, it's on any one thing. Is where do you fall on the spectrum of how good people are at that, because the best players are always going to win, essentially. I think we try and put the fault on ourselves because then it's easy to say, like, if the fault is not your own, then you kind of have to ask yourself why you're doing it, right? But that's why you have to have a greater motivation when you know that you're doing something against the odds. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.